Hi. So I'm on my way to go to a coffee shop. Excuse me. I want to get some work done, and sometimes being in that environment is the energy gets me going. But anyway, on my way there, I had a thought I wanted to just bring up. I wanted to talk a little bit more about change, because that's my whole thing, is about changing and becoming the person that God has always meant you to be, being you, and what that looks like and how it's lived out. And just because we get to the place where we recognize that we need to change and we're in the process of it, doesn't mean that as time goes by that we're not going to we're still going to fall into old habits sometimes. And then there are other times, like for me yesterday, realizing that many years ago, the Lord told me that I had to take care of myself. And when I was much younger, I took it for granted. I was not a person that liked to exercise. I was not a person that wanted to be disciplined to eat certain things, because I felt so good that I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to go on this diet or exercise and so forth. So I would kind of play around with it a little bit here and there. And, on occasion I would lose weight. And there was a couple times where I lost a lot of weight. And I didn't keep it up. And so I would end up gaining a lot of weight. And you know how it goes. You lose a lot of weight and then you gain it all back and then some. Well, that's what happened to me several times. Well, I have lost a lot of weight, but what I'm getting at is, yes, I do love to exercise now. I love to exercise, and I really enjoy taking care of myself. But what's happened is, many years ago, I was told that I had this, osteoarthritis, which hurts, bottom line, hurts your bones. And at the time when I was told, like I said, it was many years ago, I didn't understand what that meant. I took it for granted. I felt good. The doctor must have been wrong. But so anyway, one of the things that I have to do to help take care of myself and to feel better is to exercise. I need to stay constantly busy. I need to keep my bones moving. I need to stay active. And it's easy for me to fall back into old habits, which is procrastinating, which is not doing anything. I could read, I could stay on my computer, I could do many things other than what I'm supposed to be doing to pass the time. And then keep telling myself, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow will get here and I'll have great intentions of doing it, but I let things get in the way and then I don't do it. And then after many days of this, I have to start all over. But the thing is, what happened yesterday was I was getting ready to go and walk, and my body started hurting. My hips were hurting very bad, and my upper shoulders were hurting really bad. And I told myself, you know what, I did this because when I say active, it doesn't hurt. But when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, there are consequences. And the pain was excruciating. So I had to I went for a couple walks. I didn't do these great big huge long walks. I went for a couple short walks during the day just to keep my body moving. But what came to me was, I know I'm not the only one who has been told that they should be doing something and then they don't do it. And then what happens is, over a period of time, it catches up to you. And there are consequences. And that could be with exercise. That could be with anything. It could be with anything that the Lord has told you to do, but you ignore it. And you think by ignoring it, it's going to go away. And for a while, it might be sleeping. It might be on the back burners, but you know that maybe you don't. I don't know. Like for me, when the Lord told me something many years ago that He was going to do something, or He wanted me to do something, I didn't do it. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I already came out of a bad situation. I'm not doing that. And so He let it go. And then years later, it came back. And I was in a really bad place. And so because of that, the Lord had to deal with me. I had to deal with those consequences of ignoring something that he had told me to do, something I was supposed to do a long time ago. And when God tells you he wants you to do something, he doesn't forget. We might, but God doesn't forget. His memory is very long, as you can imagine. So when I was walking and I came back, I knew I had to stretch, and I had to get my muscles loose, and I had to become pliable and be able to move, and I just had to readjust my whole body and get to where I could be comfortable again. And then I finally did. But so what I'm going to do today is, yes, I'm out moving around today, but I'm going to go out and do my walking, do a couple more walks today, and that's what I'm going to have to do every day, which is good. Exercise is good. But what I realized is that that's what we go through. After we have run away or we have ignored the calling upon our lives, when we have done that for a period of time, and we get back into the hand, into the will of God, and we start working that muscle, start working our limbs and our mind and everything, getting back to what he's wanted us to do. It's going to be painful. It's going to be very painful because of what we have done to ourselves, what we have ignored. There are consequences, and the sooner we surrender and be obedient to what we are called to do and to do what we're supposed to do, the pains are going to be a lot less. Yeah, there are growing pains in anything. Whether you are in a perfect situation and you obeyed immediately, you're going to have some growing pains. That's just the way that it is. But the sooner you obey and you surrender to what God has planned for you, those aches and pains will not be as bad and will not be as severe. And that is my message to you, is that don't allow your stubbornness, your confusion, or mostly your stubbornness, because that's where it comes from, is being stubborn. Because you think you know better, or you think you really like what you're doing and you got a hold of this, or you just don't want to do what God's called you to do because of whatever reason. And so you walk away, or you run away, and you start living a life that is completely opposite of what you know that you should be doing. You're behaving in a manner that you know you shouldn't be behaving. You're making decisions and you're speaking in a manner that you know is not correct, but you do it anyway. And eventually it's going to catch up to you. You're going to have to deal with it. I promise you, you're going to have to deal with it, one way or another. You can't run from yourself. You can't escape yourself. And if you can't escape yourself, God, you cannot escape God. You cannot escape him, because he is watching you. He is looking after you. He's got a plan for your life. He's got something that only you can do, and your purpose to do. And a lot of people already know what it is, but they just refuse to look at it. And it's easy to get confused about certain things, because there's your will and there's God's will. And I can talk to you about that in another time, but it's easy to confuse your vision, your dreams, and so forth that you have to what God has for you. And that's gonna take time and spending with the Lord, and he will help you. But the thing is, I can only stress, don't run. Don't assume that you've got this. Don't assume that, because over time it's going to catch up to you, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. So don't do that to yourself. If you've already done it, if you're already in it, then it's not too late. It's never too late. It's not too late. So just get back on it. Just get back to doing what you're supposed to be doing, and God will help you. And just trust the journey. Trust what he's doing in your life. Trust that he has a plan for you. Trust that his way is better. And you might think that your way is better, but really, God's got this. Anyway, that's what I had. That's what I wanted to share with you. I wanted to share that with you last night, but when I was out walking, there were some interferences. There were some bees, and I had to hurry up. But anyway, thanks for listening. And I hope you have a great day. All right, bye.